It was the first day of elections in Jharkhand. In fact, the first phase of election. By 5 p.m., 64.9% of votes were polled. It is a neck-and-neck fight between the ruling JMM Congress government and BJP. Voting was held on 43 of the state's 81 seats across 15 districts. These are mostly Naxal areas. Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren, his wife Kalpana also cast their votes at a polling station in Ranchi for the assembly elections. Chief Minister Soren also accused the BJP of maligning his and his state's image through shadow campaigns, an allegation that the Saffron camp has dismissed. The second phase of the elections will be held on 20th of November. Meanwhile, PM Modi was at Jharkhand today, and this is what he had to say during the campaign.
पहले कांग्रेस, फिर आरजेडी और जेएमएम, इन दलों ने इस क्षेत्र में लंबे समय तक राज किया है। लेकिन आपको इन्होंने दिया क्या? इन्होंने संथाल परगना को सिर्फ पलायन दिया है, गरीबी दी है, बेरोजगारी दी है।
Today was the first phase of polling, and around 15 days back, if you remember, Narendra Modi and Amit Shah was holding a press conference in Ranchi. He released the manifesto of BJP, and first time in Jharkhand he talked about the illegal immigrants, the Bangladeshi settlement in Jharkhand, and he went on to allege that it was JMM actually and the Congress government combined which was helping these illegal immigrants settle in Jharkhand, and they were eating into the vote banks of tribal. So if you read between the lines what Amit Shah was saying, he was addressing the tribal voters. He was kind of conveying a message to them that it's the JMM government which is actually helping them settle the illegal migrants, and they are actually eating into their resources. So that is what Hemant Soren is today referring when he says that it's a shadow campaign. When BJP talks about illegal immigrants, they are actually not concerned about that. Rather, they are trying to woo the tribal voters on their side. And also, apart from the tribals, is the women voters and the youths actually of Jharkhand who have been in the epicenter of this entire narrative which has been set on the ground by BJP. Today was a very crucial day. 43 seats went to polls today. Most of them were rather tribal dominated areas, Naxal areas. So it went on. There was no bloodshed today, which is a very good news. The Election Commission was quite worried on that front. And also today is the day when on these 43 seats, the fate of the NDI alliance or the NDA alliance would be decided actually which way the wind will blow in Jharkhand.
By-polls were held across 31 seats in 10 states with notable contests in Bengal, Karnataka and Rajasthan. In Channapatna, H.D. Kumaraswamy's son Nikhil faced off against Congress's C.P. Yogeshwar. Assam's Samaguri witnessed pre-poll violence. Meghalaya CM's wife debuted in Gambegre. The outcomes will impact regional political landscape significantly. In Bengal, polling took place in 6 seats under the shadow of the Arjikar hospital incident.
Voting ended at 6 p.m. The polling booths have shut down, and we're talking of 3 important constituencies in Karnataka that went into the by-election mode. Interesting battles that were witnessed as far as these 3 constituencies are concerned. We're also talking about the BJP MP Baswaraj Bommai's son Bharat Bommai contesting in Shiggaon. We're talking of H.D. Kumaraswamy's son Nikhil Kumaraswamy contesting in Channapatna. Channapatna definitely steals the limelight because of the prestige battle between both D.K. Shivkumar, the Karnataka Deputy CM, as well as H.D. Kumaraswamy, the Union Minister. This is the old Mysuru region, and Channapatna is definitely a big part of that. And Channapatna is the only constituency that has been retained by the JDS that exerted considerable influence earlier in the old Mysuru region. So it is definitely a matter of party's survival as far as Channapatna election is concerned. And no wonder we have H.D. Kumaraswamy battling for the party's image here. And on the other hand, you have DK Shiv Kumar, who is trying to settle scores after his brother's defeat in the recent Bengaluru rural Lok Sabha seat, which also covers Channapatna. So the DK brothers have been working hard to try and see if they could regain Congress's lost ground here in Channapatna. And as far as the candidates are concerned, it's Nikhil Kumarasamy versus CP Yogeshwar. Nikhil Kumarasamy, who has faced 2 defeats in the past, is back in the electoral fray once again. And we have CP Yogeshwar of the Congress, who jumped ship from the BJP after being disappointed and denied a ticket then. And now, as far as the Congress candidate CP Yogeshwar is concerned, he's a 5-time MLA who has faced defeats in the recent past, 2 consecutive defeats against HD Kumarasamy there. And a high-stakes battle, and Channapatna is definitely stealing the show as far as Karnataka as well as the nation is concerned. And we are talking of 2 important Vokaliga leaders of Karnataka who have been locking horns in Channapatna.
One of the things that is going to be very clear after these election results or the by-poll results is whether the Arjikor issue and the protests surrounding this horrific rape and murder of a second-year postgraduate student have had any political impact, whether political parties that have also sought to use the Arjikor incident to put the Trinamool on the mat have been successful or not. The seats that went to polls have a very distinct demographic structure. For example, Madarihat was a tea garden, voters. Shitai is on the Bangladesh border. Noihati is an urban center. Mednipur is urban-rural mix. Taldangra is a tribal voter-dominated seat. And also, you had another seat of Harua, which is minority-dominated. So, in all these segments, whether the Arjikor incident has had any impact or not would be clear from the by-poll results, and also an indicator of whether Trinamool has been able to fight off the challenge that has been posed in terms of the protests this entire state has seen.
Now, the Wayanad Lok Sabha by-poll marks Priyanka Gandhi's electoral debut as she steps into the political arena. The battle has become a 3-cornered contest. Priyanka Gandhi is contesting against 15 candidates in this election. By 5 p.m. Today, the voter turnout in Wayanad was recorded at an impressive 60.1%. Rahul Gandhi previously won the Wayanad seat in both 2019 and 2024 Lok Sabha elections. He vacated the seat to retain Raebareli, thereby necessitating this by-election. Now, after checks on Union Minister Nitin Gadkari and Deputy CM Devendra Fadnavis, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's bag was also inspected ahead of the Maharashtra polls. The Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar has shared a video showing his bags being checked by Election Commission officials during the election season. This follows a political dispute over the routine inspection of Uddhav Thackeray's luggage. According to sources within the Election Commission, these inspections are a part of standard operating procedures to ensure fairness in the electoral process.
A political video war is underway in Maharashtra, with parties sparring over routine bag checks conducted by the Election Commission. A day after Uddhav Thackeray released videos of his bags being checked in Yavatmal and Latur, alleging that only opposition leaders are targeted and ruling party leaders are spared from these checks, the ruling alliance has responded with videos claiming that all leaders undergo similar checks.
अरे भैया, अभी मेरी लोकसभा में भी मेरी बैग चेक हुई थी. अभी भी मैं जहाँ जाता हूँ तो मैं पहले निकल जाता हूँ, वो लोग आते हैं सब बैग चेक करते हैं, हमारा आदमी उधर खड़ा रहता है. मैं और ये अभी गडकरी साहब का, देवेंद्र जी का, अजीत दादा का बैग मेरे ख्याल से चेक किया. तो इसमें क्या है, वो इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया या जो इलेक्शन ड्यूटी वाले जो है वो उनका काम है. तो इसमें क्या है, हमारे पास कर नहीं तो डर क्यों करने का. हम लोग सिर्फ वीडियो नहीं बनाते उसके और वीडियो नहीं डालते, वायरल नहीं करते.
The BJP countered with footage from November 5 showing Devendra Fadnavis's bags being checked by EC officials at Kolhapur airport. Videos also surfaced from Ajit Pawar faction and Shinde Sena showing the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister's bags checked in Palghar and Baramati. The BJP also took a jab at the opposition, stating carrying the constitution isn't enough Respecting constitutional processes is essential. However, opposition was quick to retort, stating these are face-saving videos shot by the ruling parties after allegations surfaced.
Bharatiya Janata Party releasing the videos of their leaders' bags and helicopters being checked seems to be a farce. If the Election Commission is carrying out these kind of checks, it should be done. But what we want to say is that all these checkings should be done impartially across all parties.
The Election Commission has clarified that these back checks are standard procedures applied impartially to ensure fair elections. While political parties continue to trade accusations, the poll body insists it is committed to upholding a level playing field for all. It remains to be seen if this issue will fade as election day approaches or if it will continue to fuel tensions in the final stretch of the campaign. With Anuj Raite, this is Radhika Ramaswamy for NDTV.
The Supreme Court came down heavily on the trend of bulldozer justice, saying the authorities cannot demolish the house of a person simply on being on the grounds of them being accused of a crime. The apex court further observed that the public officials who demolish the properties in such a manner should be held accountable. The executive cannot replace the judiciary and legal processes should not prejudge the guilt of an accused, the Supreme Court said earlier today, taking a tough stand on the issue of bulldozer justice.
The Supreme Court demolishes the so-called bulldozer justice being practiced across several states. The top court has made it clear that there can be no more instant justice with bulldozers demolishing houses of people alleged to be involved or accused of a crime. The Supreme Court, hearing a clutch of petitions against bulldozer actions, laid down stringent guidelines to be followed across the country before undertaking any demolitions. The court made it clear that heavens will not fall and mandated the following steps. Minimum 15 days notice should be given. Notice must be sent by registered post and pasted on outer portion of the house. If demolition is found necessary, reasons should be given as to whether full property or only part that is illegal to be razed. 15 days time each for appellate process, if any, as well as to remove illegal construction by affected parties themselves. Demolition to be videographed. Violation of guidelines will invite contempt, and officials will be liable to pay costs from their salary. A portal to be set up with these notices in 3 months, and the guidelines to be complied within a month. The Supreme Court came down heavily on the state and municipal authorities, saying the executive cannot become the judge and decide that a person accused is guilty and therefore punish him by demolishing his properties. This is a transgression of limits. As expected, the opposition welcomed the judgment.
I think the Supreme Court has today given its judgment, and this is actually showing the mirror as far as the BJP government, especially in Uttar Pradesh, is concerned. The arbitrary actions by officials, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, making a big deal about bulldozer justice. There is nothing called bulldozer justice. There is a constitution, there is a rule of law, and that is what will prevail in this country.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आया है सरकार के खिलाफ, उसका धन्यवाद देता हूं, बधाई देता हूं। कम से कम आज के बाद उनका बुलडोजर हमेशा हमेशा के लिए खड़ा हो जाएगा गैराज में। अब किसी गरीब का घर नहीं टूटेगा।
उनका भी अपना अधिकार अपने हिसाब से ठीक है और सरकार जो कर रही है वो भी ठीक है।
Affirming that the right to shelter is a fundamental right, the Supreme Court said the demolition of shelters is unconstitutional. The focus now shifts to the implementation of the new guidelines.
A Tamil Nadu government doctor was stabbed 7 times at a Chennai hospital on Wednesday morning by a young man whose mother had been treated for cancer by the same doctor 6 months ago. The young man was also a patient attender at that hospital. The doctor, an oncologist, is also a heart patient and suffered injuries to his upper chest and head. He is in a stable but critical condition. A senior doctor said his colleague has a pacemaker and was cut on his forehead, back, and was also hit on his stomach. A government doctor, as we are talking about, was stabbed by patient's son. Angered Tamil Nadu doctors had initially said that they will protest and they will call off work tomorrow. But after meeting the government, they have decided not to protest. In fact, they will be working tomorrow as well. The state government has agreed to most of the demands of the doctors, including police security in hospitals, functional CCTVs, and restricting visitors into government hospitals in a time-bound manner. Doctors have decided that they won't go on strike that they had earlier decided. However, they will hold a protest across the state on Thursday.
The Tamil Nadu government has agreed to many of the demands put up by the Government Doctors Association following the attack of an oncologist this morning at a government hospital in Chennai. And joining us now, Dr. Anto Uresh. Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time. What are the demands the government has agreed to now?
So we have requested the government to give a capital punishment. So government has assured whatever the legal aspects and police interventional aspects will be done as soon as possible to find out the rest of the culprits and to arrest the culprits. Also, we requested CCTV should be installed and it should be a functioning CCTV in all government premises. They also accepted and they have assured to do it in a warfare measure.
Have they given any commitment with respect to restricting the number of visitors or attenders entering government hospitals?
So we insisted the restricting the attenders to 2 in numbers. So in Madras Medical College, it has started functioning. So they are about to release that plan of action.
What is the worry among the doctors after this attack? And no question of going on strike, right?
We are not going on the strike. When the minister opposes our demand or he is not listening to the demand, it's a point to go for strike. Right. There's no point otherwise to go on strike for just like that.
And the worry among doctors?
The worry among the doctors, really the safety measures and the numbers are very less. We are really stressed and everyone are thinking when to quit the government service.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. That is Dr. Anto Uresh talking to us after holding the Government Doctors Association meeting with the Health Minister. At the Government Kalaignar Centenary Super Speciality Hospital in Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
Time now for a very quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned. Earlier today, a toxic haze blanketed North India from Delhi to Punjab as air quality plunged to very poor category with schools closed and visibility was very low. The region grappled with severe pollution, prompting health warnings and questions about long-term environmental strategies. At least 10 flights were diverted after being unable to land at the Delhi airport in the morning when the visibility was reduced to almost zero.
No sight or breath. Delhi faces a double whammy as it faces its first dense fog of the season. With wind speed early in the morning only at 5 km per hour, the conditions in the capital are dire for both residents as well as flyers. At least 10 flights to Delhi were diverted today due to almost zero visibility, of which 5 Air India flights were diverted, though they did fly back to Delhi once the visibility improved. Aviation sources say the plunging visibility levels in mid-November are entirely unexpected. Flights from Delhi were departing with an average delay of 30 minutes today. At least 2 flights were also cancelled. Delhi woke up to an air quality index in the very poor category for the 15th consecutive day today, ranging between 350 and 380 levels. That's several times the safe limit declared by the World Health Organization. Travel in and out of the capital comes to a standstill with a blanket smog situation. Delhi used to witness such smoggy skies in late December, but we're already witnessing it in mid-November. How far can we afford to ignore climate change? And to add on to that, the rising pollution levels, both food for thought. With camera person Arun Negi, this is Tanushka Datta in New Delhi for NDTV.
As toxic fumes engulfed the NCR and turned it into a gas chamber, Centre for Air Quality Monitoring held a meeting to assess the situation. They expect AQI to improve. They say that they will keep a close watch before implementing GRAP. My colleague Ishika has this report.
We saw that the air quality index here in the national capital, in fact, went into the severe category. The air quality index crossed the 400 mark, and that is why a meeting of the CAQM was called today. But in the meeting, in fact, it was discussed that this entire steep rise in the AQI was called as episodic event. And in fact, CAQM also says that, the air quality index is expected to start showing a declining trend from tomorrow because of the stronger winds. And that is why now CAQM, in fact, has decided to wait for some time, but to keep close watch before, in fact, invoking the stage 3 of GRAP. So certainly, CAQM is going to wait for some time before, in fact, they decide to invoke, the stage 3 of graded response action plan in the Delhi NCR region. Over to you.
Now, President Donald Trump met President Biden in the Oval Office after a triumphant return to the seat of American power that he had grudgingly left 4 years ago. US President Joe Biden greeted President-elect Donald Trump with a handshake in the Oval Office, each pledging a smooth transition from Democrat to Republican. Biden even congratulated Trump on his win. Well, that's all we could pack into this bulletin. Thanks for watching.